Hello, everybody. Welcome to our CISJ, another seminar for our parents. This is about Story Basket. And today, me, Ms. Cardozo, the director of CISJ, will present you how to engage in story with the little ones. This PowerPoint we will share with you, and I hope that we can find some useful tips during the story time or preparing some props where you can engage with your little ones during the story time. So, introduction of this seminar, why early readings matters. Reading from a young age, it also helps children not only with language and communication, but also with their creativity, the curiosity, because when you're reading, you need to engage, adults need to engage in a way that the children can ask you questions and that can sparkle their curiosity and their imagination. Also, they will develop their language and thinking skills, love for learning in the future. And as children grow, you can also support them on their life skills using story time to engage on their empathy, understanding what others are thinking, and also their problem solving skills. Knowing right and wrong, morality, you can also engage them on this type of story. Also, I can promote a little bit our channel of our Catholic channel in CI. You can find it in YouTube, and then there are a lot of stories with some Catholic values and some little concepts of how Jesus came to this world and different characters. And sometimes they will really engage in this type of story. Although we might not want children to be exposed to screen time for a long period of time, depending on their age, it needs to be an age appropriate time for their screen time. But for story, holding a story, reading a story, letting them doing the movement of passing into the next page, that will be really engaging. And especially nighttime story, it's really, really good. Also, they can be more confident and communicate better and can help them to develop their social and emotional development. Also, reading together, it helps children to grow in different ways. SJ also promote parents coming here to read story with children during their time here with us. You can talk to the homeroom teacher and then find the time. Normally will be early in the morning when you drop off or when you pick up during 3:30 to 4 o'clock. This time is the best time. And then you can come read to your kids and read to their peers. Okay, moving next. What are the benefits of reading and some disadvantage? Benefits of reading for toddlers, it's a lot, multiple benefits. Can prepare your child for kindergarten, supports early reading skills and confidence, as I was saying, make it easier for child to learn and read later. You can also point their finger when they are reading some words, although they are not reading, but they can recognize that words have meanings and those meanings have some sense on the real world. So it will also help them to be more confident on telling them what happened to school, what they're feeling, and how can they express themselves verbally. Make it easier for your child to learn and read later, as I was saying. Stimulate brain development, encourage creativity, and love for books. Help your child to learn sounds and words, phonics, and builds early understanding of grammar and language. Also can improve their memorization skills and thinking skills and lead them for better learning success in the school. Create special bonding moments of lasting memories with parents. And then actually there's no disadvantages, but I want just to keep in your mind that if you force your children in not their age appropriate level to try to memorize words and teach them how to read before their age of primary, these might take out some of the benefits of other developmental skills, for example, creativity or pushing them too early to read. It might get them more frustrated, or it can make them feel a little bit more anxious, and the anxiety of wanting to know and then they struggle. This can establish a little bit their emotion and social skills. They might feel a little bit shy, not talking. Those parents that prompt to tease them of like, answer, what did you hear? Can you repeat? And then you can see that the child is repeating those words, but they don't really know the meaning of those words. So reading, it needs to be a step-by-step process and takes time. Children develop in their own pace. For example, you can say that, oh, my friend's son have 2 years old and can sit for 10 minutes and read a book with parents, but my son, it's running around. That is normal. Each child is unique. And their developmental age, you need to see it physically and emotionally if they are ready or not. Don't rush and just be patient. Pushing reading too early may cause a stress, as I was saying, and frustration on the children. And starting early doesn't mean that the better will be the result. There's no scientific proof that the more early you read, the better will be your academic skills later on in life. So learning to read, it's a process that you need to accompany slowly. For example, going to a restaurant, and instead of bringing your iPad and make them distracted, you can read a book. You can get them with some pencils and some crayons and make them draw, or bring a little toys where they can play with you, or a little bit of a blocks, easy things that you can bring to the restaurant or bring to a house of your friend. So to get the child developing slowly and not always on the screen. For example, this seminar, it's a story basket. So it means that always with the story, we have little props. You can bring a little basket with some props where the child can engage on your reading with those toys. Later on, I will show you some examples. And then healthy eye development, if it's important for them to have a good lighting, being in an environment where they can read and focus on their reading. This is all for little ones. In CISJ, we have children from 1 to 3 years old, so the environment setup is really important. Moving forward to environment, I have some examples here. Sometimes we think that reading should be in a very quiet area. I heard one time one professor telling me that sometimes you can see that your child is moving around and they're not paying attention. You assume that they're not paying attention, but the child listens with their whole body. They listen with their eye, with their ear, with their hands. They listen with their whole body. It don't mean that if they are moving around, they are not paying attention. So you can read in a garden, you can read in your house, you can read in your family. We also do a lot of reading here in CISJ. You can have moments of before nap time, before sleep time, early in the morning with breakfast time, or reading by themselves. Oh, now it's your reading time and mommy's going to read too. So you get your book, or daddy got to get your book, and then your child sit next to you and they can engage on their own books. Even they are not reading, they're just looking at the illustration. It's a very good habit and a good routine. Moving forward, creating a daily reading routine is really good. And also all of these in a very early age, it's a great advantage. Sometimes you can choose classical music to turn off the TV, turn off the radio, turn off your phone to silence mode so that you can really focus on that moment. Sometimes can be 10 minutes, sometimes can be 30 minutes, and this is really good. Involve your child with pictures, repeating familiar words, encourage them to join on your daily reading and your moment, reading with the siblings, with friends. Those are very important habits that they can create. What is the magic behind Story Basket? Story Basket, the advantage, I can show you here that Story Basket are a fun and hands-on way to help children to learn through play. They bring stories to life by using real objects, toys, and other materials that can see and touch, for example, and let them explore during the story. These baskets encourage meaningful interaction between the child and the parent, peers, and also here in CISJ with the teachers and educators. Creativity, imagination, curiosity, you can involve all of these skills into a story. Language development and storytelling skills, creating a story basket is just very simple. And it's very valuable for a person to putting together all these things that you think that your child like and put it into a basket and share it with them. Can be a box, can be a treasure box. Who calls story basket can be a treasure box, treasure basket, or their favorite, create with them their favorite box and then just put what they like with a storybook And don't repeat the same story, just be different. Sometimes can bring them to the library, to a bookstore, and these can engage the child into different environments for reading and put the reading as a magical moment in a very meaningful way. Here are some examples that I was saying that you can engage with sensory play. You can create these little stones. For example, we have here an example of Padalec's story. In these stones that was paint and then put it into a little pocket, and then they can play with it. For example, tiger who came for tea. You can prepare some little tiger, the food, the little things, the pirates. It's a different way to prepare like the story baskets. For example, this one, the hungry caterpillar. It's a very traditional story, but if you put it in a fun way, they can develop the language. Oh, what is this little one? What did he eat first? Ask open-ended question. Don't tell them to repeat the words and repeat over and over. That is kind of brainwashing. Also, using different natural materials to create your story basket. Here's a different example, like a picnic box where they can create stories. So first read a story while they can play with this. And then another example here, during Christmas time, you can also prepare, or Easter, or even now Children's Day is coming. You can prepare different materials and different resources that they like. You can easily buy in Taobao or any place, or just use recycled materials or different others. And then those baskets you can share with your neighbor. You can share with your friends. Here is some link for the resources. Later on, we will share this with you. And remember, children listen with their whole body. Young children don't listen just with their ears. They listen with their whole body. They listen with their eyes, they listen with their hands, face, and even their posture. They show their listening by watching closely to you, touching, moving, and reaching out their whole body. Sometimes they dance, sometimes they sing. That's why active engaging experience help them to understand and connect more deeply with the story. Next. Sorry. Okay, just for today, thank you for listening. And since this is a video, you can watch and revise in any of your convenient time. Any question that you have, please send to Ms. Cardozo by email here in CISJ. And I'm very happy to exchange and share with you different tips to engage on story. I hope that you have enjoyed this little seminar. And if you have any question, just let me know. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.